Hi guys, the topic for this video is forming and solving linear equations. Okay, so let's look at this example together. It says here, a farmer wants to make an enclosure for his sheep. He has 42 meters of fencing. He wants the length to be twice the width. What dimension, what dimensions should the field have? So let's say, for instance, this field is in a rectangular shape, okay? So the main part of information, okay, it says here he wants the length to be twice the width. Now the width, we don't know what it is. So let's call the width x. Okay, we can use any variable, a, b, c up to z. It doesn't matter. But we call the width in this case here, let's just name it x because we don't know what it is. It says the length though is twice the width. So if the width, if we call the width x, okay, then we can label the length as twice the width, which is 2x. Okay, all right. Another piece of information that it gives us in the question is the perimeter is 42 meters. Now, remember, how can I work out the perimeter of this shape? I'm going to add all the sides together. So 2x plus x plus 2x plus x. Remember, the opposite sides of a rectangle are the same. So adding up the perimeter together, an expression for it would be 6x. But because it's given me the perimeter to be 42 meters, I can form an equation and then solve it. I can do 6x is equal to 42, and then divide by 6 on both sides, x is equal to 7. So therefore, going back to my question, it says, what dimensions should the field have? Now, my x could be 7 meters. And therefore, if my width is 7 meters, because my length is twice the width, it will be 2 times 7, which is 14 meters. Okay, let's look at this example here. Anne wants to make an enclosure for her T-Rex. She has 40 meters of fencing. She wants the length to be 10 meters more than the width. What dimensions should the field have? Again, let's say, for instance, the field here is a rectangular shape. She has 40 meters of fencing. So in total, okay, she has only 40 meters. She wants the length to be 10 meters more than the width. Again, do we know what the width is? We don't know what the width is. So we can label the width of this rectangle as x. Again, you can use any variable that you want. But here again, let's just use x. It says she wants the length to be 10 meters more than the width. Now, if the width is x, okay, what would my length be? It would be x plus 10 because it has to be 10 meters more than the width. It's given me the perimeter, okay, to be 40 because that's how much meters of fencing that she has. Now, again, what do? I add up the perimeter, okay? Remember, opposite sides of a rectangle are the same. So it would be x plus 10 plus x plus 10 plus x plus x. Altogether, as an expression, the perimeter of this rectangle is 4x plus 20. Now, if I have the expression, if I have the perimeter as an expression, and I have the actual value, okay, of the perimeter to be 40 meters, then I can form an equation and then solve it. 4x plus 20 is equal to 40. Then solve this equation. You should be able to do this. Subtract 20 from both sides. You get 4x is equal to 20. Because 4x is equal to 20, I want to solve what x is by itself. So how can I get rid of that 4? Well, 4x means 4 times x. So to get rid of the 4, I need to use the inverse operation. So I'm going to divide by 4 on both sides. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. So my width here, x, is going to be 5 meters. But because my length is x plus 10, it would be 5 plus 10 meters, which would be 15 meters. And that's how I would work it out. Please copy down this example. So just a quick summary. is we label the width, which we don't know, as a variable x. Then we label the length to be x plus 10 because the question says the length has to be 10 meters more than the width. It's giving me the perimeter to be 40 meters. I form and solve the equation, and then once you solve what your x is, you can find out what the dimensions are. So my width is 5 meters and my length is 15 meters. Okay, let's look at one more example. Mark wants to make an enclosure for his cows. Okay, let's say for instance these enclosures are just basically rectangular gates. Okay, he has 44 meters of fencing. He wants the width to be 8 meters less than the length. Okay, what dimensions should the field have? So again, we have a rectangle. Okay, a rectangular field with our cows in it. It says that he wants the width to be 8 meters less than the length. Now it's the length that we need to be focusing on. We don't know what the length is, so let's call the length x. But the width now has to be 8 meters less than the length. My length is x. How can I label that? It would be x minus 8 because it has to be 8 meters less than the length. Again, it's giving me the perimeter to be 44 meters. So I can form and solve an equation. But before we do that, I can work out the perimeter as an expression. So it would be x minus 8 plus x minus 8, because remember, opposite sides are the same, plus x because again, opposite sides are the same. Add them together, it would be 4x minus 16. That is an expression for the perimeter. Now I can form and solve an equation. 4x minus 16 is equal to 44. Add 16 on both sides, gives me 4x is equal to 60. Divide by 4 on both sides, x is equal to 15. So now I can label my sides. My length is going to be 15 meters, and my width would have to be 15 meters minus 8 meters, which is 7 meters. And that's how I work it out. Okay, so you need to form an expression, form an equation, then solve the equation, then label the dimensions correctly. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is pause the video, copy down these questions in your book, and using the example, work it out, please. Okay, so pause the video, have a go, then press play when you're ready to carry on. Okay, these are the answers. All right, remember, if you follow the same steps in the examples, you should be able to do these very easily.